Ladies and gents, boys and girls, welcome back to BB's Customs. I'm Rich, and this is just a bit of an update as to how things are going with the CB Scrambler. Okay, so it's been, what day are we on? It's been coming on to 2 weeks now since the raffle started, and ticket sales are going. Over 50 tickets have gone, which is brilliant. You know, it's a nice feeling to think that people are actually willing to invest, even though it's only £5 to go. It's nice to know that people want to have a part of this, which makes it all worthwhile, really. I know that sounds a bit soppy, but yeah, it makes you warm and fuzzy. The other side of that is I may have been maybe a bit, might have let my ego get ahead of me a little bit when I gave the time limit for it, because end of September is only 5 weeks away now. So in order for the raffle to go ahead, I need to sell at least another 200 tickets. So if you've already got a ticket, brilliant, thank you very much. But you know, don't feel you're stuck at one. If you want 2 or 3 or 30, then you know, go for it. Every little helps. I think if you do the math, if you get one ticket and all 500 go, that's a 1 in 500 chance. If you get 10 tickets, that suddenly becomes a 1 in 50 chance. So it's worth a punt, right? I've also had from the insurance company for this now. I went with Adrian Flux, which I think I said in the last video. I declared everything. I went through the whole agreed value process, and they've seen photographs and write-ups of what's been done, and they've now agreed that the bike, as it sits at the moment, if it were to be involved in an accident or stolen or something like that, then it is worth to them £2,500. Where, if you remember, when I bought the bike in the very first episode, all those moons ago, I paid 225 quid for this bike. So, totalling up everything else which has been done to it, so with the paint and the materials, new parts, gasket sets, things like that, new tyres, including the mess up on the tank, which cost me twice as much as it should have because I had to do it twice. The whole build came in at around about £1,200. Is that right? Nearly £1,300. So, I mean, that's not bad, really. 1,300 quid, and it's worth £1,000 more than what you've put into it. Now, don't get me wrong, if you were to sell this bike, I don't think someone would pay £2,500 for it. But again, if the insurance companies are willing to pay that out, then something must be right. So that's a nice big thumbs up as well. On the channel side, I can't wait for this thing to disappear, because it means I get to start on the new bike, which I haven't made my mind up yet whilst filming this. I may show you this video as to what that bike is and what the plan is. I won't start it until this one's gone. I mean, I will be sorry to see it go. I've put a lot of time into this, and more than a little piece of me doesn't want to get rid of it. I really like this bike. It's good fun to ride. It's got that sort of like born again presence to it. It's nice, and like everywhere I've been on it, it turns a lot of heads. Even when I took it to the MOT centre, the guys who work there, all as they were moving the bikes out of the showroom, they all stopped and had a look and a chat just to find out what this thing was about. So yes, I will be sorry to see it go, but go it must, because I don't have any room to do the next project otherwise. What else is going on? So, outside of this, as most of you probably know, I am expecting a new member of the family, and we are 4 days away from arrival time. or predicted arrival time. And you sort of look at that on the calendar now and think, oh crap, we're in single figures, how has that happened? Yeah, it's quite a scary time. Now, when she does arrive, because it is going to be a little girl, obviously I'm going to have to put this aside for a little bit, because as much as I would love to spend all my time tinkering in the shed and playing around with the welder, you know, I kind of need to put family first, and I'll get really told off by the other half if I spend all my time in the shed. So we're going to make her life easy and my life easy, and we are going to do the right thing and let her put her feet up, because she's had 9 months of growing a person. So I've got 3 weeks in order to just let her chill out and relax and do all the house husbanding and keep everyone happy. So probably for most of September there won't be any videos coming up. I've got another one scheduled to come up after this, so there will be another update. It's not on this bike, it's on the Virago, but there will be another one coming out just to keep the channel ticking over. So yeah, that's where we're at. Big bottom line on it is I need to sell more tickets for this raffle. I get loads of interest on the Facebook page for it, but what I think is happening is people think it's an internet scam, because you see these things going around on Facebook all the time where, oh yeah, buy tickets for this, and then nothing ever happens. But cross my heart, this is not a scam. If you buy a ticket for £5 and your number gets drawn, you will get this bike for £5. And yeah, I mean, that's it, done deal. So don't worry about it. It is real, it is honest, and I mean, it's not hard to find out where I am if it's not honest, is it? I mean, I put myself all over the internet. So yeah, tell your friends and your family, get them to dig deep in their pockets. Maybe it'd be a nice Christmas present for someone. Maybe you've got a birthday coming up and you fancy treating yourself. Any excuse you need. You've got an empty bit of space in the garage which needs filling with something cool. £5. On that note, I'm being stared at through the kitchen window, so I'm going to head back into the house and see what's going on there, and then I'm going to show you what the next bike is. Okay, this is the next bike in the series. I do know what I want to do with it. We just quickly take this off, you can have a quick look, and then we'll put it away, ready to start building it later on. So, it may not look like much at the moment. It's missing a face and needs a bit of love, but this is a what year is it? What year is it? An M Reg. What's that? 95. This is a 1995 Suzuki GS 500e. So this is the earlier version of the bike I had stolen last year. This came up for nearly no money. Like, I would have been stupid to not buy this bike. So I've had it for a month or two, just sat here ready to start work on it. It's almost all there. I've not had it running. It doesn't have any keys, it doesn't have any registration documents, because it was through a council clearance where someone had unfortunately passed away and they were clearing out his belongings, and this was going in an auction. So I paid a very low price for this bike. We'll have a little bit of a walk around it. I can only show you this side because it's against the shed, but you get to see the whole thing, and then I'll put it back away. So as you can see, it is missing its face, but it does have its ignition It's got all the lighting from inside of, so these would have been like the indicator lights and the neutral light and things like that. It's got all the wiring loom still down here. So that's like the main headlight attachment there. We've got, what's that one? That's the rev counter, and somewhere in here there is a speedo lead somewhere. But let's have a little walk down. The engine is whole, complete with carbs. It's the earlier black version. The frame looks pretty good condition. I have had to take the chain off, so it doesn't have a chain at the moment, because the chain was so rusty I could barely push the bike. So I cut that off so I could wheel it around a bit easier. It's got everything there really. Exhaust is just tucked away in there. I'm ignoring that because that's going to disappear. A little bit of a ding on the tank there, but that's nothing major. The big issue with this bike is the fact that there's no keys for the ignition. Now, if I turn you around, if you do happen to get a bike with no keys, it's not the end of the world. There are ways to get keys for it, which I'm going to show you. I'll talk about it now, but we'll actually go through it on the first episode. The first thing I need to do on this bike is to try and get it running. So it's going to be a very quick carb clean, fresh fuel, check the spark plugs, charge the battery up, and then just see if it fires. It should do. It hasn't ran for about 6 years, 7 years. It did have an MOT 5 years ago, but the history of it, even though all the numbers tie up, the history of it is in the last couple of years it literally went to the MOT centre and back, and that's it. So it's done about 22,000 miles. I don't have the clocks for it, but that's what, if you do a like an internet check, that's what it comes up as. It's done just over 22,000 miles. Got big plans for this bike. I'm genuinely excited. Right, so if you need to get a key for a bike and it looks like this, you can either take this off. This is your ignition barrel. You've got 2 bolts under here, there and there. You take those off, you can take this out, and you can take it to a locksmith to get them, like a real locksmith, not a replicator, but an actual locksmith will be able to take that barrel apart and make you a key to suit. These ignitions, the bolts under here, are kind of a one-way deal, and more often than not they snap when you get them out. That's what they're designed to do. It's not your fault, it's just the way they are. You can get them out if you're very lucky, but more often than not they break. So we're going to leave that there, and we are going to come down here. Now, the tank, can't get that off without undoing that. You need to open up that so you can release that and get the housing out. Don't do that because we damage the tank. What we are going to do is take this off. This is the latch, which, I mean, it's a ridiculous thing really. I don't know if anyone actually uses it, but this is what you lock your helmet up to. Now, I personally would never lock my helmet to a bike and then walk off, because, you know, I value my helmet. I actually value my helmet more than my bike, because, alright, your bike will get you home, but your helmet will keep you alive. So I don't want someone kicking it or trying to cut it off with the chin strap. So these locks are ridiculous. Honestly, I've never seen one in use. But I'm going to show you how to take this off, as long as you promise not to use this for ill reasons, okay? Because you can use this to have your wicked way with these machines. But I will show you how to take this off. We'll take it to a locksmith, get them to make a key, and fingers crossed, hopefully, all the locks use the same key, because I have ran afoul of that before, but we'll give it a go anyway. So yeah, taking that off will then mean, no, do you know what, that's utter rubbish. That's rubbish, that's not what this does. This is the release for the seat. It doesn't have something for, this bike doesn't have anything for holding a helmet onto. That's the release for the seat. I only thought that because on the newer one, which I had, it was up here. No, it wasn't. It was under here, just there. So ignore what I said about the helmet thing. It's true, but it's not happened to be true for this bike. We're going to take the latch off of here. Taking that off will also mean we can take the seat off, so whilst we go to the locksmith, we can get the battery on charge, or at least have a look at the battery. I suspect it's probably knackered, but we'll give it a go. We'll get a key and start tinkering and see if we can get this thing fired up. But as I said before, the Honda's got to go first. So help a fella out, help the NHS out, get yourself some tickets, and then hopefully September you could be the proud owner of a new bike. Until then, don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to tell all your friends and family about how awesome this channel is and how they should all subscribe, because it'll make their lives better. Gives them a sense of completeness. And then, fingers crossed, I'll get loads of likes, loads of new subscribers, the bike will disappear, and I can start this sooner rather than later. But until that time, I'll catch you later. Cheers.